conference will now be recorded.
Good, I think. It's my privilege to call to order this evening the Board of Zoning Appeals regularly scheduled meeting for Monday, December the 1st, 2025, beginning here at 5:03. Reed, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Malik.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Osterhout.
Here.
Mr. Levine.
Here.
Ms. Rego. Here.
Thank you. Our first order of business this evening is to approve the minutes from the previous meeting, November the 3rd, 2025. Has everybody had an opportunity to review those? Any corrections, additions? Hearing none. Someone want to make a motion to approve? All right, thank you. Someone second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Ray, can you please again call the roll?
Mr. Malik.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Abstain.
Mr. Osterhout.
Yes.
Mr. Levine.
Abstain.
Ms. Rego.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Since this is a formal hearing, the swearing in of individuals are required. So anybody that wishes to speak this evening, if you would, please raise your hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're going to give this evening or may give this evening is the truth, to the best of your understanding? Thank you. So we have no old business this evening, so we'll move right on into new business. 4 items this evening. The first item, number 4 on our agenda, is a variance request for a side yard setback from 10 feet required to 3 feet provided for the property located at 3331 Waldmar Road, parcel number 78-53891, referencing Sylvania Township zoning resolution section 700 subsection A. Daryl, could we please have the staff report for this one?
Sure. The subject property at 3331 Waldmar Road consists of a .23 acre lot in the Lathrop Place residential subdivision. The parcel is occupied by a 1,106 square foot single-family dwelling constructed in 1956. The property is zoned RA low density residential. Like the subject property, all abutting parcels are within the Lathrop Place subdivision. Single-family dwellings also zoned RA abut to the northeast and south of the subject parcel. A small commercial shopping center abuts to the west and is zoned C2 general commercial. In May 2023, the zoning department received a complaint of an addition being constructed on the subject dwelling without the benefit of permits. Township's code enforcement officer conducted an inspection and determined that the complaint was valid. Application had never been made for a zoning permit for the ongoing construction work, and notice was sent to the property owner that it was required that they apply for the necessary permit. Further, the unauthorized addition had been constructed up to the property boundary on the left side of the lot. Upon application for a zoning permit, the applicant would have been informed that the addition could not be constructed within the setback. Parcels zoned RA have a minimum setback of 10 feet. However, the subject parcel is a legal non-conforming lot of record, and as such would be permitted a 5-foot side setback provided the Board of Zoning Appeals approved the exception. The applicant applied for this exception from the BZA, and the case was heard on July 10, 2023. The BZA voted unanimously to deny the exception request. As stated above, the minimum side setback for a dwelling in the RA zone district is 10 feet. The existing dwelling was constructed prior to the enactment of zoning in the township and with an 8-foot setback is considered legal non-conforming. The applicant is willing to reduce the addition's projection into the setback and up to the property line. They are requesting a 7-foot variance to the 10-foot side setback requirement to allow the addition to be 3 feet off the property line. 3 feet is also the minimum setback permitted for accessory structures. This will leave the applicant with a 5-foot wide addition. Zoning staff recommends approval of the request for a 7-foot variance to the minimum side setback requirement for an RA zone parcel on the south side from 10 feet required to 3 feet provided for the property at 3331 Waldmar Road.
Thank you, Daryl. One question I have for you, just to start with. I Have we received any correspondence regarding this matter for or against from anybody? Okay. Does the board have any questions specific for Daryl before we bring up the applicant? He's here. She?
Yeah, I'm sorry, what was the variance request in 2023?
It was an exception for an addition on a legal non-conforming structure.
Thank you. So this construction was applied for a variance back in '23
Applied for an exception after it was already built.
after it was built.
Any other questions specific for Daryl? Is the applicant here this evening? If you would like to come up here, if you could please fill out your name.
My name is Advan Sayu. I know it's coming in the way. We can't wait like just 2 minutes.
Okay?
The way it's coming.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. Can wait. Would anybody else like to speak on this matter while we're waiting?
On this matter, not for him.
On this matter.
I can't show you the picture. This is the old picture. I will move all the door. I can show it inside.
Just until he states his name and address. We can either wait or not.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sure.
All right, if you want to come forward, if you want to state your name and your address, please, and then your comments regarding this matter.
Yeah, hi, my name is Todd Moser. I'm the property manager for 3321 Waldmar. That's adjacent to the left there, the yellow one. So I received this letter in like 2 weeks ago, and it's been it was pretty quick. I had tried to talk to my counsel and to a real estate person about this matter. I mean, I'm just trying to see what the implication would be, and not for or against at this time. I'm just trying to, I was wondering what the appeal process was for either side. So I would say, what's his appeal process? And I said yes. And what's his appeal process?
So at this point, we're just hearing testimony about the issue, and then anybody who wants to speak on the matter as it pertains to that. It's not really an appeal process for that. So we'll make a decision we may make a decision this evening. We have the ability to table it too. And then from there, the only way to appeal it is through the legal channel. That's why this is a formal hearing. So anything for or against this at this point, or?
If you're going to vote on it, I'm against it because I didn't want to go through the appeal process because that's costly and timely. So
Any specific reason why you're?
well, I don't know the implications because that's not the real estate. I mean, we have investments. I don't know how that affects our investment if we were to sell or to my potential renters. I mean, so I need more time to investigate the impact. I mean,
Okay.
2 weeks is for holidays and Thanksgiving, everybody's on vacation. It's not able time in my eyes to respond.
Okay,
Until
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
If I may, I think
Thank
he
you.
would,
1 second. Would you like to speak? You need to be sworn in because you weren't here earlier, so do you agree to tell the truth? The testimony you're going to give is the truth? If you could please sign in with your name and address, and then state your name and your address for the record.
my name's Melinda Snyder, address 3213 Piero. I believe the gentleman before was just asking, he wasn't fully privy to what was happening, and he was asking until he was well informed, until a decision be made. I expressed the same concern.
Anything else to share?
when the gentleman before that said he was waiting on his person may have had his own opinion to state, but
Thank you.
yes, sir, thank you. Thank you.
Would you like to speak?
Yeah.
If you please could come up and,
Good
so,
evening.
first for you, since you weren't here originally,
Yes,
this is a formal hearing, swearing in of individuals is required. Do you agree, if you would raise your right hand, do you agree that the testimony you're going to give today is the truth, to the best of your understanding?
I do.
Okay, if you could please sign in with your name and your address and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Attorney Waldmar Road, and I came here sort of representing him, trying to facilitate. I've been contacted in haste. I have a little bit understanding of what is going on. My understanding is that he built an addition to his house that extended to the property line. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just trying to show what I understand of the situation. And due to the violation, there was a lawsuit, and he went up a free trial in common pleas, and he spoke to someone over there, and they told him that they would stop proceedings pending him coming back here, and I believe he offered to remove the construction or remove a part of the construction, back it up from the property line, an additional 3 feet, if that is allowable or possible. I think this is what he would like to do, and in lieu of tearing down that entire addition that is the structure.
So I do have one question for the applicant, for yourself. So on this drawing that you included with, or somebody included with the package that you received, this portion up here, is this going to stop at the 3-foot line you're proposing?
I'm going to see, I can't see. Yeah, I have another one, same, all of them. I
All the
have
way
two.
up?
Yeah,
So no portion of the property will be within that 3 foot?
no, take it up like this, and I can remove anything you want to be. Allah. Yeah.
3 feet.
Yes, what he said is that he is willing to back the additional structure 3 feet from the line, and if anything additional is required to be removed, he is willing to remove it. What he's saying also is that what he's built over there is not an additional room. There are no walls, there is no insulation or any heating. It's just a porch. I may approach, showing as well how the structure is. If we only approach.
Any other questions for the applicant at this point? Anybody else like to speak for or against this matter?
Actually, I do have one. So the roof line, you're gonna take that down as well?
Yes.
So that's not gonna go to the property line?
Yes.
So just to clarify, no portion of the building will project, whether it's the roof or the foundation or any portion of the building within that 3 foot. Would the board like a deliberative session?
Yeah.
Deliberative session. 5:17, we're going to go into deliberative session and you will be back. So it's 5:35 and we're back from delivered session. So due to needing some additional information regarding this, just wanting a little bit more time to review this, we're going to table this until the next meeting so we can review it a little bit further. So we'll do that. So moving on to the next item here, item 5 on our agenda this evening is an exception for a sidewalk property located at 3610 North Holland Sylvania Road, parcel number 78-36341 and 78-36343, referencing Sylvania Township zoning resolution section 1106, subsection C and 3. Darrell, can we please have the staff report for this?
The subject property consists of two parcels at 3610 and 3630 North Holland Sylvania Road. A large, nearly 150,000 square foot light manufacturing facility straddles the two parcels. The parcels are zoned M1 light industrial. A public metro park, zone C1 special, abuts the subject property to the east. To the west, on the opposite side of Holland Sylvania, are two vacant lots, zone C4 office PUD. Commercial uses, zone C2 general commercial, abut the subject property to the north and south. Additionally, the University Parks bike trail runs through and along the southern boundary of the subject property. Subject property has experienced significant growth as reflected by the numerous zoning permits and variances approved through the years. Earlier this year, the applicant went through the township's project plan review process and received variance approval for a 3.2-foot setback to the south side of the building. Per section 1106 of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution, the development and redevelopment of properties within the township shall require the installation of public pedestrian access, sidewalks, on all sides of the property that abut a highway, street, or roadway. Section 1106C allows for an exception to the sidewalk requirement from the Board of Zoning Appeals under certain circumstances. The applicant is seeking such an exception for the frontage along North Holland Sylvania Road pursuant to section 1106C3, which states, the properties adjacent to the property seeking an exception do not have sidewalks on the side where the exception is being sought. If sidewalks are constructed on either adjacent property, the exception is revoked and sidewalks must be constructed within 180 days. Zoning staff recommends approval of the request for an exception to the sidewalk requirement for the property at 3610 North Holland Sylvania Road for the following 3 reasons. 1, approval of this exception should not present a negative impact upon the public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility and or safety of the traveling public. 2, approval of this exception should not alter the intent of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution. And 3, the exception is revoked upon the construction of sidewalks on either side of the subject parcel. An applicant shall install a sidewalk within 180 days.
Thank you, Darrell. Have we received any correspondence?
No.
Regarding this matter? Does the board have any questions for Darrell? No. Is the applicant here this evening? Okay. Anybody else wish to speak regarding this particular matter? Ma'am, if you could please come up and state your name and your address again for the record.
Melinda Steiger, 3213 Pirro. I object. I believe anywhere without a sidewalk hinders pedestrians. And if I can't walk my dog on a sidewalk, then I have to go on the road. There's barely a shoulder for a bicycle, let alone a pedestrian.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak on this matter? Would the board like a deliberative session to discuss? Hearing none, would someone like to make a motion to approve?
I will make a motion for an exception for the sidewalk requirement for the property located at 3610 North Holland Sylvania Road, parcel numbers 78-36341 and 78-36343. So in Township zoning resolution section 1106-C3.
I'll second that. Ray, can you please call the roll?
Okay, Mr. Malik,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Osterhout,
Yes.
Mr. Levine,
Yes.
Ms. Riker.
Yes.
Motion approved, or is approved, and we'll get notice within 30 days of that. Our next item on the agenda this evening, item 6, is a variance request for front setback for a vehicle storage lot from 50 feet required to 25 foot provided for the properties located at 3132, 3134, 3136 Millicent Ave, parcels number 78-47327, parcel 78-47331, and parcel 78-47334. Again, referencing the Sylvania Township zoning resolution section 829, subsection A, or A. Daryl, can we please have the staff report?
The subject property consists of 3 vacant lots on the east side of Millicent Avenue with a combined area of 0.67 acres. The parcels are all zoned C2 general commercial. Subject parcel is abutted on the north by RA low-density residential zone single-family dwellings within the Central Avenue Park subdivision. On the east by R4 high-density residential single-family and two-family dwellings, also in the Central Avenue Park subdivision. To the west is a vacant residential lot zoned RA and the applicant's automobile dealership zone C2. Another of the applicant's properties is to the south and also zone C2 general commercial. The applicant plans to install a vehicle automobile storage lot on the subject parcels. The Sylvania Township zoning resolution defines this use as providing extra parking for vehicle inventory in a commercial district. Section 1208 of the zoning resolution mandates the minimum front setback for parking areas is 15 feet. However, section 829 of the zoning resolution dictates that vehicles in the vehicle storage lot should be parked a minimum 50 feet from a public right-of-way. The applicant is requesting a variance of 25 feet to allow the construction of the vehicle storage lot to be 25 feet from the right-of-way. The proposed vehicle storage lot has been through the township's project plan review, and the proposal meets or exceeds all other requirements of the zoning resolution. Zoning staff recommends approval of the request for a 25-foot variance to the minimum front parking setback for a vehicle storage lot from 50 feet required to 25 feet provided for the property at 3132, 3134, and 3136 Millicent Avenue for the following 2 reasons. 1, approval of this variance should not alter the intent of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution. And 2, approval of this variance should not present a negative impact upon the public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility and or safety of the traveling public.
Thank you, Daryl. Again, have we received any correspondence regarding this matter? Okay, thank you. Any questions specifically for Daryl? I believe there's some representatives for the applicant here. Would anybody like to speak regarding this matter? If you could please state your name and your address for the record.
Good evening, Dean Frederick and Associates, 4645 North Summit Street, civil engineering surveyor for the project. Okay, for creating the plans you see there.
Anything additional to add to what's already been said or the staff report?
No, what we were just discussing is if you go to the landscape plan, we are putting street trees, we are putting a hedge around that corner that wraps around going to the privacy fence for it. The 25-foot setback allows us to create 72 spaces, which is what a Hyundai requirement. This whole thing kind of stems from Hyundai requirement to have vehicle storage or new car inventory. The lot will only be used for new car inventory, not for repair cars or other things like that for it. So that's why we needed to have a little bit of a setback issue as far as the reduction down to 25 to get to 72. Originally, they wanted 80 spaces over there. We're still, even at 25 feet, we're beyond the setback and 15-foot buffer you normally see in terms of the parking lot. The actual impact, when you look at it from a residential standpoint, is that first 50 feet. The rest of the 150 feet is basically opposite of the dealership itself. There are no lights going in this project at this point, as far as parking lot lighting or anything. And again, there's not going to be any customers or sales going on in this lot.
Any additional questions for the applicant's representative?
So this is closer to the street from the adjacent property to the south? Looks like, I guess I'm looking at here.
If you go to sheet 2, you'll kind of see an overall of the dealerships. The dealerships themselves, the second page in the entire plan set has the aerial image.
It's this one over there.
Can I approach?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then it's either closer than even 15.
So, yeah, we'll do that further.
The second page of the entire plan. Yeah. Tells them what they're-
So this is the site.
This is the site. We're asking for 25 foot.
Right. And so we're going to be carrying this on or
No,
mention
the
something?
sedge pavement is going to be back here. We are putting a sidewalk for township code in the right way out here, and then we're putting street trees in, if you look at the landscape
Oh,
plan.
That's
And then we're putting the hedge.
Second to last page.
Okay.
You see the trees, yeah.
Okay. And the swale's there for the protection requirement.
It's got a spot on. The staff report said that everything was included for the outlines of the, anything further for the applicant's representative? Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak for or against this matter? Ma'am, please come back up and state your name and your address again for the record.
Melinda Snyder, 3213 Carroll. I vehemently disagree with their point number 2 on their application, that it does not hinder or affect the neighborhood walkability. It absolutely does. Their need to have 72 spots or whatever for their factory, meaning just because they're putting a couple trees does not affect the walkability that really hinders the neighborhood. I would, and I think it goes, I don't know what your policy is for township districting and whatnot, but I would believe that you guys can support neighborhoods going on and encourage them to move on to Central and Holland Sylvania where there's already wide open commercial spaces which abut their own properties, instead of coming back further and further into the residential areas. Which affects our children and where they go to school.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak? Sir, if you could please state your name and address for the record and sign in if you like.
Brian Worley, 3151 Millicent. I have 3 parcels across the street to the west, but one is involved, it's an empty lot, or I'm sorry, residential. I've not been updating on that picture yet, and if I could approach and take a look at that, I have an old landscape drawing.
Yeah, come on up. Let me get it there for you.
And you see here, the width of this, I was thought was the middle. But it's right away.
It's from the right way pavement.
Right. And apparently those are trees. I'm sure I know everything else about the fence.
You hate the fence.
Fine. You just had primary concern. They were sneaking right on there. I guess that's been not required. Okay. I good. We'll see it in 3-4 minutes.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
After reviewing the new landscape drawing, the promises made on record, I don't see a problem here. The sidewalk was nice. That's all to say about
Okay, thank you.
it.
Anybody else? Hearing none, would the board like a deliberative session to discuss? Okay. Someone like to make a motion? Please.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for the variance request for a front setback for a vehicle storage lot from 50 feet required to 20 feet provided for the property located at 3132, 3134, and 3136 Millicent Avenue, parcel number 78-47327, 784731, 78-47334, in accordance with Sylvania Township zoning resolution, section 829, section 8.
Thank you. Someone like to second?
Second.
Okay, Marie, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Malik,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Oosterhout,
Yes.
Mr. Levine,
Yes.
Ms. Riker.
Yes.
Okay, the motion is approved. You will get formal notice, but it's good to go at this point. So one more item on our agenda this evening, item number 7, is an exception for the sidewalk requirement for the property located at 6200 West Central Ave, parcel number 78-747314, in accordance with Sylvania Township zoning resolution, section 1106-C, subpoint 3. Can you have the staff report for this?
Sure. Subject property consists of a 2.1 acre parcel on the northwest corner of Millicent Avenue and Mortimer Drive in the Central Avenue Park subdivision. A 14,540 square foot commercial building constructed in 1990 is sited on the approximate center of the parcel. Parcel is zoned C2 general commercial. Subject parcel is abutted to the north by single-family dwellings in the Central Avenue Park subdivision, zoned RA low-density residential. Like the subject parcel, those to the east and west are automobile dealerships owned by the applicant in zone C2. To the south is an expansive right-of-way space owned by ODOT. Per section 1106 of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution, the development and redevelopment of properties within the township shall require the installation of public pedestrian access, sidewalks, on all sides of the property that abut a highway, street, or roadway. Section 1106C allows for an exception to the sidewalk requirement from the Board of Zoning Appeals under certain circumstances. The applicant is seeking such an exception for the frontages along Millicent Avenue and Mortimer Drive pursuant to section 1106C3, which states, the properties adjacent to the property seeking an exception do not have sidewalks on the side where the exception is being sought. If sidewalks are constructed on either adjacent property, the exception is revoked and sidewalks must be constructed within 180 days. Zoning staff recommends approval of the request for an exception to the sidewalk requirement for the property located at 6200 West Central Avenue for the following 3 reasons. 1, approval of this exception should not present a negative impact upon the public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility and or safety of the traveling public. 2, approval of this exception should not alter the intent of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution. And 3, the exception is revoked upon the construction of sidewalks on either side of the subject parcel. An applicant shall install a sidewalk within 180 days.
Thank you, Darrell. Have we received any correspondence about this specific issue? Thank you. Any questions for Darrell?
Yes, I do. Actually, so just for my clarity, the only reason this is an issue is because they're making a change to the property, which now requires them to have this.
Right.
Any other questions for Darrell? Would the applicant's representative like to speak on this matter? If you could please state your name again and your address for the record.
Good evening, Dean Frederick and Associates, 4645 North Summit Street, Toledo. Yes, what we're asking for the exception, we're asking for it on both Millicent and Mortimer. Mortimer itself is somewhat of just basically a dead end. Doesn't really connect to a neighborhood. It's basically the drive to the two dealerships. It happens to be a public road. The Millicent side, we are including the sidewalk on the previous project for the vehicle storage lot. We are putting the sidewalk along that frontage. It just gets a little complicated on the Millicent side because of the edge of pavement and the ditch and the drainage that's down along through there, dropping off towards Millicent, and actually the location of the asphalt that's over there for the current existing dealership that's on it. So we talked with Daryl, went through this at the PPR meeting and decided to kind of go for the exception. There isn't any other sidewalks in this area, as you can see from the aerial on it. So the first sidewalk's actually going to be the one to go for the vehicle storage lot.
Any questions from the applicant? Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak on behalf of this matter? Hearing none, I will make a motion to approve an exception for the sidewalk requirement for the property located at 6200 West Central Ave, parcel number 78-747314, in accordance with Sylvania Township zoning resolution section 1106, subsection C.3. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Maria, can you please call the roll again?
Mr. Malik.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Archibald.
Yes.
Mr. Levine.
Yes.
Ms. Michael.
Again, your motion carries. Thank you. You'll be getting a formal notice within 30 days, but you're approved to go forward with it at this point. That was our last agenda item this evening, so nothing additional is on our agenda, so I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Second.
Mr. Malik.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Archibald. Yes. Mr. Levine.
Yes.
Ms. Michael.
That concludes our meeting at 5:58 this evening.